Today we're talking Dark Winds Season 4, Episode 5. Welcome to Screens in Focus. I'm Diana. Renee is here. Renee, how's it going?
Well, very well here. How about you?
It's going great. I cannot wait to dig into this episode. And I want us to start off with something that I noticed, and I'm curious if you noticed this, but I noticed KFC or fried chicken buckets like in two different scenes, two different households. So I'm thinking it was pretty popular. Did you happen to notice that?
I saw them eating chicken, but I didn't notice that it was any. Now that you say that, I was like, oh wait a minute, they were red, kind of, like a KFC probably would be, but I didn't pay attention to like logoing or anything. So yeah, but they did eat chicken a couple times. I did notice that.
Yeah. Well, Billie had it because they
Mhm.
brought it and she was crunching on it. And I'm like, I feel like eating KFC. And then when they went to the guy's house, Sonny and Chee went to that one guy's house, the one with the money. He had so many chicken buckets all over the place. I'm like, holy moly. KFC is very popular in LA in the 70s. That's what I thought it was. So it got me to thinking to childhood food. And so our question of the day is, what's your favorite fast food from childhood? Okay, so think about it. Friends out there, you think about it. Okay, because I'm sure there's such a variety, and I can't wait to hear. So we'll talk about it later on in the episode. But in this episode of Dark Winds, it really leaned into the investigation. Joe and Bern are finally putting pieces together, and Chee's past is coming in. Just so much mystery, intrigue, and knowing what is it? And Irene. I mean, Irene is always up to something. And so, what were your initial reactions to this episode?
Well, I just feel like this season, each episode just continues to outdo the one. I think that one was so good. Then the next one comes along and it just continues, which I was kind of worried with the couple extra episodes. Sometimes that can drag out, but it's I don't feel it is. I feel like it's very well paced. And I just love how Dark Winds is so good to balance like the emotional ups and downs that everybody goes through, and then with the action of their police work and what their jobs and things, and they just do such a good job of balancing that. And we're just getting all these new details, like they're just slowly trickling, and it's turning into something much bigger than anybody imagined in the beginning. And so I just thought it was a great episode. Again, I said that last time and the last time,
I know.
But I just thought it was very well. It was just done very well. Yeah.
I totally agree. And of course, now we're getting the LA, and I feel like the 70s feels even more prominent being in LA. I mean, we already noticed it, on the reservation and where they're at in Arizona, but I just feel like I don't know. I just see it all over the place, and I love that. So that's one thing that I really love seeing. Their outfits. It's just they're showing up every time with great outfits, great music, and places. Like they show the Hollywood sign when one scene opens. So I thought that was pretty cool. And like you said, the investigation, it's moving ahead. We find out what happened to Joe, who it was, and what happened there, and all of that. But one of the highlights to me was Chee and that moment when he was with Sonny, and Native American woman recognized him, and she is speaking to him, and he like doesn't seem to recognize her, but she says, I know what you did. And then you said mother, mother, mother. And I'm like, what he did? What did he do? What did he do? Mother, mother, mother. And just more is revealed within the episode. But I just thought that was one of the highlights. What did you think about that?
Yeah, I was like worried for him because I didn't know if Sonny, knew the language or not, and he keeps looking back at him like, is he listening? Because he's made it like he didn't recognize her, but I think he did. And he was just trying to cover that up so that he didn't, because he didn't tell him he grew up in LA or anything like that, so he thinks I forget what he said, Arizona or whatever he said. And, so I was like, oh no, is Sonny going to, know what they're talking about? But, at the moment, it didn't seem like he did. But yeah, I was very worried, like, oh, shush, lady, be quiet, don't say anything. But yes, it's like, what did he do? We know there's all these issues with his mother and all these things, but it's like, what did he do?
I know. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, what did you do? I personally don't think she did anything probably bad, but
Yeah.
the way she said it makes you think, well, what did he do? And mother, 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 that could mean
Yeah.
so many different ways that could go. So it's
Mhm.
hard to really know what it is. But I just felt so intrigued by that. That
Mhm.
really pulled me in. That was like the highlight to me because I'm like, I want to know what's happening with
Mhm.
Chee and his background because we know it's weighing on him because this ghost sickness is just
Mhm.
ramping up all of that. So what were other highlights in this?
Well, Billie discovering about her mother, that was huge. I mean, like, I was like, oh no, this poor girl, she's already so emotional. She thinks she's
Yeah.
lost all her family. She's, you know, she's trying to find Leroy because she thinks that's the last bit of her family. And then she sees these pictures, and the girl's just like, well, that's his grandma, and that's his aunt, and that's like, it's not a big thing, and it is a big thing. I can't imagine what she feels like. I'm sure she feels completely abandoned. And why did her mother abandon her? And she's already so emotional about all of this. People are chasing her. They want her, and she doesn't
Yeah.
know why. No one knows why. I mean, just I guess because she was with Albert or whatever. But yeah, that what to me was just huge. And I'm anxious to see what that means for her.
And right now, as you were talking, that reminds me, I'm sure there's a lot of times where a grandparent takes over and maybe they think it's the easiest to
Mm-hmm.
tell that person they're gone because they don't want them heartbroken
Mm-hmm.
over your mom or your dad did this or, weren't around or didn't step up, whatever it might be. And they just kind of take over and raise that person. Or could be something else,
Mm-hmm.
right? That maybe the mother couldn't be or the father couldn't be connected in any way. It's so, and also the girl that she's with says something like that's his aunt, but then also we don't know how many siblings there are in that family. Like that grandfather, how many kids did he have?
Mm-hmm.
Like, is there just one daughter? So we can guess and speculate until they actually give us more information to
Mm-hmm.
to break it down, because I was a little bit confused about the relationship
Because her
as to
and
if they're,
Leroy, they're cousins, so that would make sense
yeah,
that her mother was his aunt. But then she said the other ladies were grandma and maybe great grandma. So I thought, to me, again, it was confusing, but I took it as the younger woman was her mother,
whose
then
mother,
um, Billy's
Billy's
mother.
mom.
Yeah, the aunt, Leroy's aunt is Billy's mother because she said the
Uh-huh.
younger one. Because she
Uh-huh.
goes, oh, that's his aunt. But then she said something about a grandma and a great grandma. So I thought, well, then that would be maybe her mom, the aunt's mom, maybe, and then the grandma. So that'd be a grandma and a great grandma in the picture because there were three women in it, and they looked definitely different
There
ages.
was 3 women? I only saw
Yeah, there.
2.
Yeah,
Wow.
there was a
I missed it.
very old woman in the center. Then there was like a middle aged woman here, and then the young girl on this. Like I guess reversed. But
Oh, you know what? I think I thought it was one of the kids. I think that's what it was. So I did see 3 people in the picture,
yeah, so
but I didn't know
because if you looked at the
who.
one that was the young
Yeah.
one, she looked very similar to Billy.
She
I mean, like,
did.
yeah.
She did.
And so
Yeah.
then, and I think the girl said something about a grandma and a great grandma or something like that because she takes care of the old lady or something is what she
Yeah.
said. So anyway, that's what I thought. But I mean, that doesn't mean I'm right. That's what I was like. Oh,
No.
yeah.
No, I'm sure you are.
Mm-hmm.
You're shedding light on what it is that I was a little bit confused about, because
Mm-hmm.
also the grandfather said something like his daughter took Albert and his brother away from here. So that's why I'm thinking, well, there must be 2 sisters
Mm-hmm.
then.
And that could have been the picture. Could have been just a younger and older sister. And that would have been maybe hit. But she didn't say his mom. She said grandma. I don't know. Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
we'll
So
find out.
see,
Maybe.
see why I'm so confused. I'm like,
Yeah.
what's happening here? Yeah, because also I didn't know that this woman was that close to Leroy. I thought she just knew of him. Then all of a sudden I'm like, why is Billie going through this person's house, looking in the drawers, looking at a box? What would prompt her to look in a box? And then she looks and it says Leroy on the
Mm.
letter, and she's looking through it. I'm like, what? How is Leroy living here? Or have his stuff here. So I just have
I
like
kind of felt like they had a
million
relationship
questions.
if she knew that much
Yeah.
information about him. But,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
she never really, I guess I don't think I don't ever remember her saying, oh, he's my boyfriend or anything like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the impression I got just because she knew so much. But, you know, they could just be good friends. I don't know. But yeah, it was like, why are
Yeah.
you digging through this person's
I
stuff?
know. Exactly. But I do like that her and this girl, which I'm sorry, I don't know her name, but
Yeah.
that they are friendly and that she's
Mhm.
going to help her. And she tells her, look, you know, this is probably where they're at. Let's go. Do you want to
Mhm.
go? And she says, yeah. And that's good because one, that gets her out of this house that she's at. And also it opens it up to another story of what happened, what maybe happens in, you know, the lives of, you know, her running off, what happens to many of these young girls on the reservation and what happens to them in their lives and their parents and so forth. So I'll be just so curious because I really feel like it's another story to hear and listen and it's being represented. We just don't know it yet.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll look forward to hearing that. And then we see Joe and Bern just getting all these pieces and investigating. So I loved seeing them work together. What'd you think about Joe and Bern?
Well, I was thinking like it seemed like Joe, you know, after he had his beat down, he kind of
I
like
know.
I don't know, he got more invested, I think. He like all of a sudden he's like, okay, this is for real. You know, I don't know if he was so worried about, you know, seeing Emma and all that was kind of consuming him.
Yeah.
But now he's like, okay, wait a minute, I just got beat. I gotta get, you know, my act together. So, you know, I just felt he's like more determined at this point. And so and Bern, you know, she's pretty determined because she's trying to prove she can do this, be that, you know, replacement for Joe. So she's already trying to, you know, to hustle and do all that. But it just seemed like you know, kind of a switch kind of flipped for him after that. And he's like, okay, I gotta, you know, get this, you know, and pay more attention. And, you know, so I felt like that, but I do like seeing them together and all the clues they find and things.
Yeah. I loved seeing Joe. I love seeing Joe as detective mode
Yeah.
and damn those FBI guys beating the crap out of him. I'm like, what are you doing? And then they threw him off that truck. Like, I mean, they like threw him, not just like let him roll off.
Yeah.
After they knew he was who he might be. And I mentioned it to my husband. I'm like, oh my gosh, they just threw him. They're like, oh, they're trying to send a message. I'm like, couldn't they send a lighter message?
Yeah.
Don't be hurting Joe like that. Of course, it does send him to the hospital or to the, you know, to Emma to get fixed up. But were there any other highlights?
So one thing I was going to ask you, I have a question for you. So with Irene, do you think she planted the matchbox and that key?
I don't know. That is
like
another question.
Totally
I do think maybe, and I don't know though, right? Because we don't know until we know. But it came into my mind also.
Yeah, because she's not careless. She's calculating. She knows what she's doing. She's very professional about all this, except her side obsession with Joe. But she, you know what I mean. She doesn't do these things. I feel like she did it deliberately, so Joe knows she's watching and she's involved. And just because she's so obsessed with him, that it seems like a bad thing to do, but at the same time, I think it's just her crazy obsession with him. But anyway, I was like, wait a minute, she would not just leave that like that, you know, and toss that key into the grass, knowing he's going to be looking. So anyway, that was just one question I had about her.
Well, with you saying that, also the fact that she is up there looking, so she's probably like, oh, I left it. Let's see if he finds it. Like, I think he's going to find it. So that makes me think that probably yes. And then the matchbook, didn't we see her do something? Or am I just, don't we see her grab it at the trading post? We see that matchbook at some point.
Yeah, because that's what the shopkeeper told them that when they came and said, did you see a woman in a green van? Well, no, she was getting the something. And then I don't think he said it to them, but we saw him hand it to her maybe, or the shop guy when she was getting the coolant or whatever it was she needed for a vehicle. Yeah. So I feel like he gave it to her or something like that, but they knew where it was from because they were there talking to the guy. So they would know that's the logo. That's what the matchbox look, you know,
of course.
look like.
But
Yeah.
I knew we saw a matchbook somewhere, but I couldn't
Mhm.
remember along the line when we saw it. I just remember
Yeah.
seeing it.
I think he gave it to her. That's my recollection.
Yeah. So that makes total sense. So she's
Yeah.
all, here's one thing, here's another thing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Irene.
She is something.
She is. She is. I don't know. She's crazy. Okay, so we had kind of mentioned Emma and Joe. And so I kind of want to talk about what you thought about their relationship in this episode.
So I kind of felt she was really cold towards him. Almost like she's kind of ticked off. He's like messing up this idyllic life she's kind of set up for herself. She's on one hand, she's happy to see him. She's happy, probably just okay. He's okay. He is doing these things, but she pulled her hands away when he tried to grab him this time, and just I don't know, just some little, just how she was very abrupt with him. I felt and stuff like that. So I just kind of feel like she's really happy doing what she's doing, and she feels fulfilled, and she's not having to worry about him 24/7 and that sort of thing. So that was the impression I got of that interaction between them.
No, I think you're right. Now that I'm going through it with you, it's so weird because I feel it's conflicting because I also feel like she kind of laughed with him when she was putting the bandage around him. She said, basically, like, back on the res that he would have not took her help, would have not done the scan or anything else. He would not have done it, and here he's doing it. So, I just felt like they had just a moment where she kind of smiled, laughed with him. But you're right, and I also don't like it when he asks her. I think he asks her if she's happy there, and she says, "Yeah, I feel like I'm needed here." And it's not like, oh, no.
Yeah, he's asking the questions we don't want to hear the answers to.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I really feel like she's kind of really moving on. And I guess I just didn't expect it. I thought she was just like mad at him and kind of wanted to show him and be away. But no, she's like living her own life. I mean, leasing a place and being happy and fulfilled in her work.
And I read something, the actress, I can't think of her name right now, I'm sorry, but the actress that plays Emma, she had stated how Emma never ever told Joe that she wanted him to retire, because that's not kind of like their mindset, because they know that not a lot of the Navajo people are college educated, or they go learn these very much needed trade, nursing, police, that kind of thing. They don't get they don't learn those skills or go to college to learn the skills. They aren't able to. They don't have the means to do it. And so it was just a really neat interview. I think it was the Hollywood Reporter, and she was talking about how Emma had never said anything about retiring. She's not ready to retire for sure. She's feeling fulfilled and doing this. And so it was really interesting, how she pointed that out, that it was never Emma's idea for him to retire, that it's something he's came up with, which I know we discussed was because he probably wants to go to LA and be near her. And I don't think that's what she wants.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be tough for him to retire. But I think, he's trying to show her that work isn't as important to him, that she is. Emma wants Joe to step away, or not step away entirely. Maybe if she doesn't want him to retire, but she wants him to pull back some. But then how do you do that when you're leading this precinct? I mean, how do you do that? So I think for him, I have to retire because I can't do it halfway. So I'm going to have to, completely remove myself. But is that really going to happen? So it makes me curious. Maybe they're not going to get back together. Maybe they're not. I won't either. But if he's not going to possibly leave, and I don't think she's going to give up her, what it is there. She's fulfilled, unless something. We don't know. I don't know. Too many questions. Questions. All right. I want to go back to Chee, because I felt like this episode really concentrated on his ghost sickness and his undercover work and Sonny and all of that. What did you think about that relationship?
I mean, I just feel like it's he should not be undercover. Absolutely not right now. He's just got too much going on, And so it's difficult. He's trying to, organize his emotions where, Bernadette's concerned. He's trying to, his PTSD with his, mother's death and this ghost sickness is doing whatever it is doing to him. And it's just causing a lot of issues. And by the end of this episode, we see that it catches up to him, and so it's concerning because I mean he was bleeding pretty bad from that wound when he, again, was that real? I never know, is that real or is this just what he's seeing? I just feel like he's just in a huge struggle with all these things coming at him, and I'm very concerned.
Yeah, I am too, because of that, the situations that he gets into, like with Sonny, exposing himself to Sonny, because I was shocked. I was like, okay, I thought, why are you talking on the phone with Sonny being over there?
Yeah.
But he's kind of sees his head. Sonny appears to be asleep or knocked out or whatever it is. But then I'm thinking, how the heck did Sonny get to where Chee is at when he was drunk from drinking and gunshot wound? He's lost all this blood. So I was shocked. And then I'm thinking, is that true? Is he really over Chee doing that? I mean, I think he is.
Yeah.
But I just wondered, he looked very chipper and
like alert.
Alert. That's a good word. Very
for
alert.
Someone who we thought passed out from pain and alcohol, like all of a sudden you're better. I don't know how far away that place is where he had to go to, the other location, but at the same time, I'm sure he heard the conversation evidently of where he was going, but how did he rally so quickly? So it's very interesting.
I also wanted to talk about Chee and Bernadette because they don't have a lot of scenes together in this, but she's on his mind, because when he goes to that bar and he's talking to that woman and he brings up about, the lie, and she says, well, what kind of a lie was it? Because there's two kinds of lies. There's one to protect people and there's one to deceive people. I don't know the exact wording, but something to the effect. And it made him think, because she wasn't trying to hurt him by not telling him. She was just trying to keep Joe's confidence. And I think she was probably also worried about what it was going to do to their relationship and with him, his position also. But what I also started to think, and I'm curious to know what you think too, is this is weighing on him and he's reacting a certain way. And we also think it's part of the ghost sickness. But I also wonder, his mom and the way his mom died, could that be part of it too? Like, it made me think, could it have been that she hid her sickness from him and she didn't tell him? And maybe he didn't felt like, oh, you're not trusting me. You kind of like betrayed me, like you got sick and then you died on me. And now I didn't even know. I mean, all these things started to come, because I'm thinking, why is this so prominent in Chee's life? And why is he reacting this way to Bernadette? And I'm like, there has to be more, something deeper. And so it made me think that maybe he's traumatized because of what happened between him and his mother. And that's part of why he's so upset with Bern, because she's doing the same thing that his mother may have done by hiding something from him.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Was there any other relationships that stood out to you?
I keep going back to Billie just because I just feel so bad for this poor little girl, she's developed this friendship with this girl, and which is, like you said, great, because she needs somebody to talk to, because she's just running. And so, it's just going to be very interesting. I hope, if they go to this grandma's house or whoever she is, that, hopefully Leroy's there and we finally get to meet him and figure out what's going on. I understand, like, he's a witness. Okay. So this is evidently way bigger than anybody thought. The FBI is involved and all the, these import export and all the, it's way bigger than whatever. So obviously he is one of the witnesses, because they said the witnesses keep disappearing. It's like, well, he's obviously one, but Billie's not. I mean, she's been at her school, I think just because she was maybe around them and whatever, that's why she's being and I guess we really haven't seen her being targeted, because we don't know that Irene's necessarily looking for her. She's just they're looking for Leroy ultimately.
Yeah.
But I think Billie kind of just kind of collateral damage where she's gotten kind of in the mix of this because she can't know anything about anything because she's been at her school. But anyway, I just feel like it's great that she made friends with the girl and, hopefully that she gets some kind of closure with something because that poor girl, I can't imagine how difficult this all is for her.
But it will be so nice to have a mom if that is her mom and she's alive to have somebody, because we were so heartbroken for her that she had lost everybody. Well, I mean, there's still Leroy, but just if she could have her mom, that would just be such a great ending with all the times that she's run away. That would just be really good. So yeah. I'm hoping for her. I'm hoping that she gets what she wants in that. Yeah. So I do want to just touch upon any themes or cultural moments that you saw.
So there was an interview with Jessica Matten, and she had some really neat things to talk about. Then she plays Bernadette, and she was expressing her respect to the series writers for highlighting these Navajo traditions and how, some of them that are often taboo to talk about, but that they actually got permission to do it. And so then they bring these to people, so that the rest of us that have no idea about these things. But she mentioned that the viewers are able to see the beliefs from a psychological and traditional place simultaneously. So they're seeing both sides of this. And then then that brings in the tie-in of the culture and tradition versus the psychology of it all. So I thought that was really interesting how she laid that out, that as a viewer, that's how we're seeing this, something they all know about, they've grown up with, they know the traditions, and we have no clue. But she also said that this shows how this specific tribe of indigenous people interpret psychological wounds as something someone can maybe say is mythological. And I was like, what? That was just like, oh, okay, that's a whole other, different thing to add into it. So anyways, I just thought that was really interesting, her perspective of that. But I like how she says that we're the viewer, we're seeing this from these two different angles, simultaneously. So I thought that was really neat, and that she acknowledges that it's not just thrown on the screen. They're researching this, they're doing the right things and making sure that it's authentic. So so I just thought that was really interesting.
Well, it's always my favorite part.
I know.
It's what I love. I'm like waiting for it. And this ghost sickness that now we're aware of and weren't prior, or at least I wasn't prior to it. But it's not just like a plot device. It's there. It has meaning. It has cultural practices and spiritual weight to what we're watching, and also how it reflects the past and how it can haunt you. The way it is revealed in what we see or in yourself, or how it, comes back at you. But I also wanted to mention when Joe walked outside of the house with everybody, and before he found the little key or whatever you want to call that, can opener thing, I was waiting for him to find something, because I'm like, oh, Joe's gonna sense it. Even if he's in LA, he's going to sense this because he has this ability, because that's what I think, right? I'm like, he's going to know he's with the, with the earth, and he's going to see it. I mean, I'm so serious when I say that. I'm like, Joe's, like, if you put Joe in just a regular FBI agent, I'm like, Joe's gonna find it, right? Because he's got this thing that he can do. So but I was kind of laughing at myself. I'm like, he did find it, but no one else did. So I just thought that was funny that I thought that in my mind, and we do see it. But so it just gives us emotional depth to the detective work that happens. So, All right. We are at our worth mentioning segment. And I wanted to bring up the lava lamps, because Sonny had 6 lava lamps. And then you go into another room. It was either 5, and then there was one more. Or there was 6, and there was more. There was a lot of lava lamps. And I just thought, I remember thinking those were the coolest thing. I remember my sons wanting lava lamps, not currently, but currently. I think we still have them around the house, but I just thought it was so funny. He had the the chain lamp. I don't know if you remember this, but the big long chain
Mhm.
where you put the lamps up and there's such a long chain with the cord in it. I guess to sort of decorate the
Mhm.
cording, right? You put that on there. But I did read that lava lamps were invented in 1963 by a British accountant and inventor, Edward Craven Walker, inspired by a homemade egg timer in a pub. And he developed the Astro lamp, later known as the lava lamp, which became an iconic symbol of the 60s and 70s interior design and pop culture. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if you noticed this or not, but when they were in the music store, they walked in and I heard the song. I knew it. I sang along. It's Smiling Faces Sometimes, and it's by The Undisputed Truth, which
Nope,
I
I
didn't
don't
know
think I know
them.
that song. Maybe I
Yeah,
do, but I didn't. Yeah, it's not familiar, I guess.
you might know it. It's
Mhm.
it's a really good song. Well, to me it is. It's just
Yeah.
a
Yes.
song from way back, but it's so good. So I'm going to have that in our show notes. So for anyone who wants to listen to it, it's a really good song. And then Chee had a bunch of nicknames in this episode. He had Buttercup, Killer, and Cheeseburger.
I love Cheeseburger. That's genius.
So I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, that was really good.
All right, we are at our rapid fire. So I am going to ask you 4 questions for this week, and you're going to give me your gut reaction. I don't even remember what they are. So here we are. We're going to answer these, and you, friends out there, play along with us and answer them. Okay, who had the best detective moment?
Overall, I'm going to say Joe because it was several different moments, but like I said, I just felt like he just once after that beating, it knocked some sense into him or something. I don't know, but yeah. So I feel Joe was the best on all that this time.
I totally agree, and I gave away already one of my reasons because I thought that I feel like he like walks on water,
Yeah.
right? He can just find the key, or I keep calling it a key, but
it's the ration key is what it's called because it opens up the little rations. So you are correct. Yes.
Okay. So when he opened that up, and I just the way he is, just the way when the FBI agent came and she brought him in and says, "Oh, here you are," and he kind of gives that like look, like, "Yeah, I'm the one you beat up. Remember?
Yeah. Remember me?"
Yeah. Kind of had a look. So yeah. All right. Which character moment hit you most this week?
I don't think you'll be surprised, but when Billie saw the picture of her mom, I don't,
yeah.
it's just, it's just one of those things where you just, as a mother, you're like, oh, you just want her to be with her mom. And, that was such an earth shattering thing for her. I wish we knew more about her, and maybe we will learn some more in the next episode or something. But I just feel like we don't know a whole lot about her. I mean, we know some, but yeah. So anyways, that was just, I don't know, man. It just hit me.
Yeah. It was a good moment. Mm-hmm. For me, it would be that moment that the woman was talking to Chee and said, "What did you do?" And mother. Yeah. So I'm like, what does
What's
that mean?
happening?
That stood out to me. All right. Who do you think is in the most danger right now?
Chee. I am very concerned for him because I do not think Sonny is a reasonable man. He's not someone but wait.
Yeah.
So yeah, Chee for sure.
It could be Billie too. Mm-hmm. And I could say Billie to be, but immediate danger, I kind of think it's Chee also. I don't know, Chee. What's going to happen? How are you going to get out of this? But, Sonny's kind of crazy. I mean, he goes and shoots that other guy or whatever he did, comes running out, tells him to get in the car, go. And then when he's doing, he's all, woohoo! You know what I mean? Like, they're like, you're shot. You're running away. He's on some, some high of craziness. So it's funny, I don't know personally somebody like that, but people like that, right? I mean, I do know. So they're just kind of crazy. All right. What are you anticipating for next week?
Well, I watched, at the end of you see the preview for the next one. So I'm like, where's Emma and why is, so I'm very anxious to find out what's going on with Emma. And I think we see Irene with her, and it's like,
we see her with her. I don't know if I saw her with. Oh yes, we did, because she looks at her like
by the
Emma
car.
is saying, responding to her or something
Mhm.
like that, right?
So it's like, yeah. So I mean, because it's so quick, it's really hard to see things. But yeah, I mean that little, however many seconds long that thing was, I felt like we got so much information. This, there's so much happening because we're building to, we only have 2 episodes left, and so we gotta. It's gonna be, yeah. So yes, I am very concerned, and I'm anxious to find out what's going on with Emma.
I'm thinking 6, 7, 8. We had 3 episodes left, right?
This.
With
Oh wait,
this
maybe we
is
do.
5.
Wait, this
Yeah.
is 5. Yes, we do. Okay, good.
Okay, yeah.
I was thinking it was only
Well,
2.
wait,
No,
2. I'm like 2.
it's not enough.
Yeah, 2's like, oh wow, we're wrapping up now. Yeah, 3, but
Yeah, 3.
and we know that if you watch the previews like we do, you know that Joe knows that she breaks into his place and he says something like, she's obsessed with me.
Yeah.
He's telling somebody, oh, she is obsessed.
Yeah.
And also Bernadette, Sonny, I think she goes to find Chee or something and she runs into him, and I think he holds a gun on her. I don't remember exactly, but
door. I felt, I think that's right. But and also Sonny's on the phone and he says that he has a cop.
Oh, I didn't hear that part.
Yeah, I think he says something. He's on the phone, kind of in that position that he was looking down at Chee, kind of in that same position. And I just thought of that. And he says something about a cop or something like that.
How's that going to help you out? You're not going to get anywhere with that. You're just making your life even harder, don't you think? I mean, even if you get rid of these people. And, if McNair is doing illegal things, I just really thought, maybe it hasn't been revealed yet, I thought it was going to be something bigger. Because if you're just doing illegal stuff, you really have the means to pay all these people to kill people?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm like, I need something big.
But if the FBI is involved, it's big. There's something, you know what I mean? Some element that makes it enough
drugs,
to catch their notice.
I guess. Yeah, maybe a lot of drugs or something.
Yeah, or I don't know. That's generally what I think of. But yeah, so. Well, I'm glad there's 3 episodes. So I kept thinking there's only 2 because I can't count evidently. So I'm very excited. There's still 3.
Well, I thought maybe you meant like when we're in the next one, it could be 2 more. Because I'm like, is that what she means? Because that could be true. We are circling back to our question of the day. And that is, what's your favorite fast food from your childhood?
So when you first asked this question, I thought that's so crazy that you asked this question, because recently I remembered a restaurant from my childhood that's no longer, well, it's like there was one left. But anyway, it's called Arthur Treacher's Fish and Chips. And it was kind of based on the original British chips, fish and chips kind of thing. They even bought the recipe from the first place that ever served fish and chips in England. It's like Malin and Bow or something. I forgot how I read this, but yeah, so they actually bought the recipe from them and everything. But it was just a fish and chips place, but it was so good. And it had this green, I just remember this green and yellow logo thing. The whole building was kind of green and yellow with this big sign, so that was my favorite. And I remember it. Now there used to be like 800 of them, and now there's 3 in Northwest Ohio or Northeast Ohio.
Oh, wow. Oh man.
So, yeah.
Well, I still live where I grew up. So, and a lot of places have closed, unfortunately. Sure. We have a place, wasn't even what I was going to bring up. I will give you my chain in just a moment, but there's a place, 2 different places that come to mind. There was a place right around the corner from my house, really literally around the corner from my house. It's called the Root Beer Stand. And they would sell, you could bring a big jug and they would give you root beer. And it was so good. They would give you this really good root beer, and they had the best hamburgers to me. It was like I don't know what they put, a seasoning, what it was. It was the best burgers and the best root beer. And I just remember it was hot summers, and we'd like bring our jug in and we'd get root beer, and it was for really cheap, and it just tasted so good. We also have another place called Burger Bar that's still there. And this one is still there. And it says from I don't know, 37. I don't even know what it is, 57. I don't know, something 7, but a long time ago. And it's still there. But I remember when I was young, you used to be able to get a bunch of burgers for like a bag full of burgers for like $1 or $1.99 or $1. You're like, wow, you got like 12 burgers. I don't know. It's much more now. It's still at least decently priced. Like we go there and we get something that's called a steak sandwich. It's not steak. It's a burger, but it's a burger on this like little flat roll, but it has just mayo and barbecue sauce. That's all they put on it. And it is good. And they give you these greasy French fries and it's really yummy. But the last thing I want to say, the chain that when I was young, we used to go to was Jack in the Box. That was like the place that we always wanted to eat. Cause my parents never let me eat fast food. So I was like, I want something. So that is what it was. All right. Thank you for letting me reminisce, Renee, about that food. And I still want KFC. But friends out there, let us know what your favorite food is from childhood. Oh my gosh, I would absolutely love to know. You can leave us a comment wherever you're watching us or listening. And if you need to get to our social media, you can go to screensinfocus.com and all of it is up there. You just click on it and get to us and leave us a comment, or you can call us and tell us. And that is 669-223-8542. That number is also in the show notes because we would love to hear from you. All right. We have TV and movie recommendations, but this is a wrap up of Dark Winds. Come back for episode 6. All right, Renee, what do you have for TV and movie recommendations?
So I started watching R.J. Decker. So it's this guy, he was like an ex-con kind of thing who turns into like a private eye. And there's 2 episodes out right now. And it's nothing earth-shattering, but it was good. And it's got comedic, elements to it and things like that. So yeah, it was pretty good.
I think I saw previews on this and it looked funny.
Yeah, it's funny for sure. Yeah. So, and I think it's on Hulu. And then I've been wanting to watch the Burbs series, which is, based on the movie and everything too, and I watched a couple episodes of that so far. And it holds, it's very, if you know the movie, the original movie, it's very reminiscent of that. And so far
Tom Hanks, right? Wasn't it Tom Hanks?
So the original had Tom Hanks, Corey Feldman. There's a whole bunch of people in it, and it was, really good. And it's supposed to be that, in keeping with that same kind of tone and everything. And Keke Palmer is like the main girl in it. And she's just always funny. I like how she's got just great timing with her, just how she does things. Good. So I'm enjoying it very much. Since we recently finished The Night of the Seven Kingdoms, we had not watched House of the Dragon. So now we're watching that. And it's so good. We just started season 2. And so I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Love it.
Yes. It's just so well done. So anyway, a little late on that one, but check it out if you haven't. And then on your recommendation, the movie we watched this week was The War Machine on Netflix. And what a good movie. It was so good. I kept, what's going to happen next? Kind of thing. Yeah. So no, that's definitely, yes. So I'm glad you recommended it. That was very good.
It's a good movie. In fact, my husband watched it again, and I do have my reviews out on TikTok and YouTube, and I have a lot of people that have commented on that. They're like, "This was such a good movie. I've watched it a couple times already." So a lot of people are really liking that movie. So I think it's a solid movie. So it's good.
Yeah.
So I was able to watch a couple of new things. There is Scarpetta with Nicole Kidman out on, I think it's on Prime. I don't actually have it on here, but I'll try to have it in my show notes. Scarpetta with Nicole Kidman. I like it. I don't know about it yet though, right? I've only watched an episode. I think the thing is they go back in time and they have a younger Nicole Kidman. And while the younger Nicole Kidman can look like Nicole Kidman, she's not Nicole Kidman, right? So it's hard when you have an actress portraying somebody, kind of iconic in how she is and how she holds herself. So I don't know, something about that kind of was like, can I just have Nicole Kidman only? I don't want a younger Nicole Kidman, please. But it has to do with a case. And I think it has to do with a serial killer. And so I think that's why they go back in time. But I'm going to keep watching it and see how it goes. But I also watched The Madison on Paramount Plus with Michelle Pfeiffer, Kurt Russell. I am enjoying this one. This is by Taylor Sheridan. It's about, she lives in New York with her family. Well, they do, but Kurt really loves to be out in, I don't know if it's Colorado or Montana. It might be Montana because it is related to Yellowstone, even though it's not directly connected to it. But he loves fishing and being out there. So they have a really good relationship, but he just really likes to be there. So she supports him traveling out there, and they communicate really well together. And I don't want to give anything away because it's really, there's too much I don't want to reveal, and you'd have to watch it. But Michelle Pfeiffer is really good. She's really good. I'm so glad to see her. I used to watch her way back, when she was making all those films. And then I feel like she took a break for a while, and now I feel like she's back in some things. So she's really good in this. And then I saw that Virgin River is back on Netflix. I think it's season 7. I love Virgin River. It's like comfort. It's like a comfort show to me. So I put it in, and I just started it, and it's feeling really good. So there's that. Now, I did watch Trap House on Netflix with Dave Bautista because I thought, whoa, I watched War Machine. That was really good. Let me watch this. It was decent, but some of the moments were really far-fetched. And I'm like, okay, this would never happen in real life. Just never. And so, well, I appreciate Dave Bautista. The story, I think it was the writing or producing of it was just a little bit lackluster. It's not bad. It's just not great either. It's kind of middle of the road. So there's that. And I do have to bring up the Oscars because we had the Oscars this week, and I'm such a fan of the show. If you didn't see it, go watch highlights. It's so good. Watching Michael B. Jordan win for Sinners was just a delight to hear his acceptance speech. Did you see any of this, Renee, by chance?
I saw some of his, I watched some of his, I didn't watch the Oscars, but I watched a reel of some of his speech, and it was really good. Yeah.
He is so genuine in his speech. He thanks everybody he should thank. It doesn't feel rehearsed. It feels like from the heart. And I love speeches like that.
Yeah.
Also, Ryan Coogler won for Best Original Screenplay, and he did the same, just talked. It was good. And I love it when people do that. So I was really happy. One Battle After Another, which I really enjoyed that movie too. And I thought, and I did predict that they would win Best Film. They won 6. And so, Sinners won 4. And I think Frankenstein won 2 for Best Costume and Best Makeup. And they deserved that. So there's a lot of great wins here. There's even more. So I'm putting out a blog post if you want to go read that for a breakdown on all of that. But otherwise, just go look at the clips because they're so good. All right. That's our recommendations. Thank you, Renee, for your recommendations and always your insights on Dark Winds. Thank you.
Yes, thanks. I love to be here, so thank you for asking.
I love it that we get to break down one of our favorite shows. So it was so great. Oh, and they did have Robert Redford in the memoriam. I don't know if you saw that.
I didn't.
They had Robert Redford in the memoriam, and they had a couple people come up and speak, and they had for different people, but Barbara Streisand came up and talked about the way we were. And then she sang.
Oh,
she sang, and she's out, she's in retirement, so she rarely sings, but she sang that song. And I was like, oh, Barbara, you still sound good. So it was amazing to let, for her tribute. And then Billy Crystal had opened it with a tribute to Rob Reiner and his untimely death with him and his wife. So, and there was other people that were highlighted. There's so many people that passed away, and a lot of them were highlighted. So, but those were the bookends of the memoriam. So really well done. Sorry, I segued into that, but Renee, thank you for being here. Friends out there, thank you for tuning in. We hope we gave you some insight, a chuckle, something to think about. Remember to subscribe to Screens in Focus, and please share this podcast with a friend. That would mean so much. Keep watching, keep exploring, and keep those screens in focus. We will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.